What is up guys, Jarv here, back today jumping into Destiny 2. Now in today's video we're taking a look at everything that's going to be inside the Destiny content vault, and with that the key exotics that may see short periods of time away from the main game. So if you want to make sure you've got them all before they could potentially end up in the vault, then be sure to stick around and check out the video. Now if you enjoy the video, be sure to leave a rating down below, that super helps me out here on the channel. And if you are new around here, I want to keep up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 content, be sure to hit subscribe as well. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. Now this September we'll see a handful of locations, maps, planets and more entering the Destiny content vault. Now the Destiny content vault is a way of Bungie being able to take content out of the game without removing it completely. So anything that's placed in the vault will be removed from the game, but all the code and all the data will remain on the Bungie side. So if they ever want to reprise a location or a certain piece of content, they have the ability to do so, and with that also bring content from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2. Now if we take a look at the director as it is today, as you can see there are a lot of planets and a lot of nodes for players to select, but as of September this is what the director will look like. So much cleaner, much tidier, but for now less locations than we currently have. Now in terms of the locations that are going into the Destiny content vault, this includes Io, the Leviathan, Mercury, Mars and Titan. And that includes any content including raids, strikes or activities on those destinations. Now with that all being said, which exotics could potentially find themselves inside the Destiny content vault even for a short period of time? Bungie have said that any items that get put into the content vault such as exotics will be re-added to the game. We just don't know in what capacity. So to avoid potentially missing out even for the shortest period, we're going to break down each and every one. Now to kick us off, we're going to start off with the Scourge of the Past. This is actually under the European Dead Zone, but it is being removed and placed into the Destiny content vault, and with that the Anarchy could potentially find itself in the vault as well. It's one of the strongest power grenade launchers currently in the game. It has the exotic trait Arc Traps, where grenades stick to surfaces and chain arc bolts to other mines. So it's very effective, especially for those high DPS builds. So if you're going to go into end game PvE content, because you have to remember that no exotic is capped via its power, then be sure to try and get Anarchy right now whilst the raids are farmable to ensure it's not one that you miss out on. Now arguably one of the biggest pieces of content that's been removed is the Leviathan, and the reason for this is because it's almost a destination upon itself. It actually includes 4 raids, the Menagerie as well as the Tribute Hall. So there is a lot of content there that's going to be taken away and find itself inside the vault. Now the first one we're going to touch on is the Crown of Sorrow raid and the Tarrabah submachine gun. Now the Tarrabah comes with the intrinsic trait Ravenous Beast. This weapon stores power when dealing damage or receiving damage, and it allows you to unleash the beast when it's fully charged. It also has Bottomless Appetite, where dealing continuous damage extends the duration of Ravenous Beast. So if you can keep that up, this is a very strong SMG inside PvE. It can melt players inside the Crucible as well, and it may be potentially one of the go-to SMGs when Beyond Light launches. Now much like the Scourge of the Past, the Crown of Sorrow is one of the featured raids this season. So between now and the 10th of November, you have an opportunity to repeatedly farm the Crown of Sorrow raid. So if you don't have this exotic or even the Shadow title, then be sure to take advantage of the extended season and add this one to your collection. Moving on, we're heading over to the Leviathan itself. This was the original raid on this entire destination. The key exotic here is the Legend of Acrius. It's part of an exotic quest that is obtainable and completed via the Leviathan. So without this destination, it simply won't be possible to get this exotic, and it's one of the highest DPS weapons in the game. It doesn't get used an awful lot, but when it does, it packs a punch. So it's definitely worth adding to the collection. But as well as the Legend of Acrius, you can also get the catalyst, not just for the Acrius, but also the Skyburners Oath. You'll need to complete the Leviathan on prestige difficulty to get either of those to drop. Now the 2 remaining raids on this destination are the Eater of Worlds and Spire of Stars. Neither of those have a dedicated exotic, however both of them have a catalyst that you can obtain through them. So with the Eater of Worlds, it's possible to get the Telesto catalyst by completing it on prestige difficulty. And with the Spire of Stars, it is also possible to get the Sleeper Simulant catalyst, again by completing it on prestige difficulty. So if you haven't got either of those catalysts, but you have those weapons, again, be sure to jump into those raids whilst they're featured to make sure you have the best opportunities to get each one of those. Now that covers all the exotics that we could potentially lose via the raids themselves, but there are many more that could potentially be caught up in the Destiny content vault. Now, if we focus on Mars specifically, this destination alone has 4 exotic weapons. All of these are either obtained directly on the destination or have a quest step that is reliant on Mars as a destination. Now, these 4 exotics are the Sleeper Simulant, the Polaris Lance, the Worldline Zero Sword, as well as the Lumina. Now, all 4 of these weapons have had their moment in the sun, but with Mars being added to the content vault, the key quest steps needed to obtain all these exotics simply won't be there. So Bungie will need to add new steps or new sources for these exotics to be earned. Now, Mars isn't the only destination that could potentially impact the ability to earn exotics. Titan is exactly the same. However, this only has 2 exotics that could potentially be impacted by the Destiny content vault, and this is the Thorn and the Outbreak Perfected. Now, much like a lot of the exotics on Mars, these have key quest steps needed on Titan in order to obtain them. So if you're not able to do the Enemy of My Enemy adventure, for example, then you won't be able to unlock the mission needed for Outbreak Perfected. So much like with the exotics on Mars, Bungie will either need to add new sources or new quest steps to the game to make these weapons obtainable. Now, the next 2 exotics are linking back to the Leviathan, and these come via the Tribute Hall as well as the Menagerie. Now, the one in the Tribute Hall that could find itself inside the vault is the Bad Juju. Now, this is a kinetic pulse rifle that has the intrinsic perk String of Curses. This is where kills refill the magazine, increase damage for a short duration, and grants super energy based on the strength of String of Curses. It also allows the gun to fire in full auto, and this is obtainable through a dedicated mission, only obtainable through the Tribute Hall. Now, if we take a look at the Menagerie, the exotic that we could potentially lose to the vault is the Truth. This is an exotic powerful rocket launcher which has the intrinsic trait Prototype Truth Seeker, where the rockets have tracking and lock onto targets when aiming down sights. It also has grenades and horseshoes reprised from Destiny 1, where projectiles will detonate when they are within close proximity to their targets. Now, the very first step to obtaining the Truth is obtainable through the Menagerie, so without it, it's simply again not going to be possible to get this exotic. So without new sources for the Bad Juju and the Truth, these may fall victim to the Destiny content vault. So whilst those activities are still available and we have an extended period of time to do them, be sure to jump in and make sure you have them. Now, this brings us nicely onto the final 2 weapons, which are arguably the 2 that you most definitely do not want to miss out on. Now, the next one is via a special mission on Io. Io itself is finding itself inside the content vault, and as a result, the mission for Whisper of the Worm is going with it. So if you haven't completed the Whisper of the Worm, or also got the Catalyst through the mission as well, then most definitely take the time whilst you have it to go after this one. It was one of the strongest sniper rifles in the game, and with a little bit of love from Bungie, it could potentially be that once again. So it's definitely one that you don't want to sleep on. Now, the final exotic we're going to cover in today's video is Izanagis Burden. This is primarily earned by the Forges, and whilst we haven't had official confirmation as far as I can see from Bungie that the Forges are going away, there is a key quest step in the entire Izanagis quest which simply won't be available, and that is the penultimate step for the quest, which requires you to do a special version of the Pyramidion strike. The Pyramidion finds itself on Io, which, as we've just learned, is going inside the Destiny content vault. So if you haven't finished the Izanagis Burden quest, then most definitely make sure you take the time to finish it. Izanagis Burden has been one of the strongest, if not the strongest, sniper rifle inside Destiny 2 for multiple seasons now, forming a key part to a lot of PvE builds. So if you haven't got it, or you haven't been using it, or worse still, you haven't finished the quest, then most definitely take the time between now and the 10th of November to get that done and add this one to your collection. So there we have it, guys. That's a rundown of all 13 exotics and 3 weapon catalysts that could potentially find themselves inside the Destiny content vault. The hope here is that alternative sources or quest steps are added with the launch of Beyond Light, and hopefully we'll get some form of confirmation from Bungie in the near future. But be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and be sure to let me know if you need any help completing any of the quests. Now, if you have enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a rating down below. That super helps me out here on the channel. And if you are new around here and want to keep up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 content, be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to jump back into the game as always, guys, but I will catch you all again very soon.